Hey there, welcome to my Bug Fables video. This is a challenge I thought of recently where I just go through the game beating all the bosses with the level 0 conditions, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But yeah, this footage here is just all the bosses that I fought up to that point, up to the end of the game rather. So enjoy. I would like to start off by saying what exactly the challenge is, or what exactly I'm doing in this challenge. And I'm sure you can notice by now, this is unscripted. I'm not going by any particular script. I'm just kind of looking through these fights and giving some of my honest thoughts about them. Uh, so the the challenge idea I have here is, so we go through the game. We only upgrade MP. We don't use any medals and no items. That right? That's basically the main idea of the challenge. There's some kind of nuances that show up later because like I allow items, or I don't allow items rather, but I allow key items, and that's a kind of a run saver in the later, spoilers. Uh, but overall, that's the main bulk of the challenge. And in terms of like charms, like the curses in this game, I didn't really. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I made the list, the rules, I didn't really think about them. I didn't remember they existed. So if you want to try this challenge with the curses, the charm, I think they're called charms in this game. Uh, I guess you can, sure. I don't think you'll need them, but if you want, go right ahead. Spider boss fight isn't really that difficult. They honestly expect you to fight it in a similar way to how I'm fighting it right now, so there's not really a whole lot to talk about here. And we can just move on to Arya Acolyte. I decided to take Leaf into the fight against Arya because I thought she had a weakness to ice. Turns out I was wrong, so it didn't really affect the fight that much anyway, but it's just a minor inconvenience more than anything. From here, for the next few fights, I'm just gonna speed through because they're not really that interesting. On the fight against Mothma and Zosp, I kind of had this idea where I'd kind of cheese the fight a bit. Basically, I would just get rid of Zosp immediately, and then as Mothma keeps on reviving Zosp, I would just because I would do enough damage to get to defeat Zasp and then do some extra damage to Mothma. So it was a little bit slow, but it was a lot safer, and that's going to be like really important for the Coliseum rematch fight against them. The Venus Guardian, I actually had a little bit of a tricky encounter with. It wasn't like a super difficult fight or anything, but I tried to go for something and I did not end up getting it, and you'll see that later. So I believe what I tried to go for here was, so there's a way to skip his Venus Bud phase at the very end, and I pretty much just wanted, I didn't want him to heal, I didn't want to drag on the fight, So I was hoping I could get through that. I think so. I forgot what the HP threshold for it is. I know I was trying to skip something, and it didn't end up working in my favor, but hey, I still beat the boss anyway, so we'll take it. So at the time, I didn't really have any reason for fighting Scarlet Ones Ear. I just kind of did it because I thought it'd be kind of funny. Uh, I'm surprised I got this first try. Or I don't know if it was first try. It was either first or second try. But I remember trying this later, and gee, I don't know how I got it so quick. Well, okay, I know how I got it. It was Frigid Coffin. But so at this point, I'll go ahead and answer the question. Why are you doing no MP, like MP only, no medals, instead of just entering the Ryuji code and just not leveling up? I, I, I could do that, and I definitely considered it, but I really wanted, Frigid Coffin and Heavy Strike. I'm pretty sure you get, and Secret Stash. I just wanted those moves. There wasn't really anything to it. Um, Later, I know, like towards the very last levels, you get an HP level, like a free HP level up and a free TP level up. So basically, what happened whenever I encountered those was I just went to Patton and got them removed. That way, I'd stay at base stats. Yeah, nothing really came up as like a trouble from leveling up too much. So that's why. So then we get to Honey Nation, and this fight's also pretty simple. Just make good use of freezing him. If he spawns two little guys, just do an ice fall. Most of the time, they'll all get frozen, so there's not really much strategy you need to use for this fight. That is not the case for the next fight we're going to talk about, the B33, because ooh, that's going to be a fight. And then we get to B33. Okay, okay. Okay, so this fight it took me about an hour, I think, of attempts, maybe a little more. It definitely took me significantly longer than every other boss so far, which I'm pretty sure all of them I did first try. This was the first boss I actually died to. And yikes. Yeah, basically all of its attacks will just destroy you if you do not super block. And there's a very, very quick way to kill it once you reach second phase, but until then it is not fun. So basically what you do in the second, you do everything normal in the first phase, and once I think it reaches half health, it'll lower its defense. And in this game, Hurricane has a very odd property to it. I'm pretty sure it's a glitch, but I'm not sure. Where if you lower an enemy's, if an so if an enemy has one defense, and you lower that defense, Hurricane will still might do one more damage because it thinks it's piercing another defense when the defense is already down. It's very weird, but basically it's just an extra damage when Hurricane does extra damage whenever its defense is naturally lowered in the second phase. So by freezing it as well with Frigid Coffin or Icefall, you can do 2 extra damage than a Hurricane normally would, and that is very nice in the second phase, where basically it it does what well it does one more damage, but that one more damage adds up a lot, especially with multi-hit attacks. So yeah, this fight is difficult, uh, and definitely the biggest hurdle so far in the challenge. Luckily, Broodmother is a lot simpler than B33. Pretty much same kind of deal we did with with the B33, and honestly, most bosses we're gonna fight. It's just get them to about half health, and they're gonna do their whatever buff they're gonna have. Broodmother, I think, has the haste buff at halfway. So all we really need to do is just once it reaches halfway, we Frigid Coffin with Leaf, and then get a free extra turn of Wallops. Try and go for another freeze. If it doesn't work, oh well. Usually it's fine that we get enough damage in to where it doesn't matter that much. Uh, but yeah, very simple fight, very easy. So we are definitely in the realm now where bosses will start doing a lot of damage and have a lot of health, and if we do not plan accordingly, we will die. And Mother Chomper is no Broodmother. I think no, it's Mother Chomper. Mother Chomper is pretty difficult, but if you know what you're doing, you can work around. So she can't be frozen, so we can't do the previous strategies we've been doing. So the best thing to really do is use Leaf to just try to erase her health as much as possible. Um, I personally recommend just trying to get rid of the 2 chomper spawns as quickly as you can. Just keeping them away so that way, because they can either attack you, or they can buff the chomper, which can either they can either raise her attack or raise her defense, and none of those are really good. So having them out is usually a good idea. But if they keep on attacking you, a well-timed super block can usually just get you free of damage. Um, one thing, one attack that Mother Chomper has that luckily she did not do in this run is she can bite whoever's in front. I'm pretty sure it's only whoever's in front. Um, but that is a very powerful move. I think it does like 5 damage or something. It does a lot, and if you get that, it's kind of like an instant run over. Like not you could still maybe like clutch out a run, but it's not likely. Um, yeah, in this fight, I have a very, very close call at the end with the last Chomper spawn, which is why you normally want to get rid of them as soon as they come out. Uh, Plus, I'm pretty sure it uses the Mother Chomper's turn. It might. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, this is a tricky fight, and luckily for beating it, we get Chompy as a reward, and that's Chompy's gonna help us out a lot. So up next is Elise, and this fight is pretty much a pushover. Uh, its main gimmick is that you can't use items, which, funny thing, we're not using them anyway. So this isn't like a tricky fight or anything. Later on, I just kind of start spamming random moves because I know I've won at this point. So yeah, this is not very difficult. Um, you'll see that I do have Chompy here, and I have her equipped with the Pretty Ribbon. Uh, Basically, what the Pretty Ribbon does is just boosts her attack by 1. For no extra charge. It's just free damage, and that is very, very useful, especially against enemies with defense. So yeah, this is I'm gonna be using this Chompy for basically the rest of the run, and yeah, we'll see you in the June Scorpion fight. Okay, so we get to June Scorpion, and he's definitely a lot more difficult than the Stothelese. He can do some like AoE attacks, and they can do a bit of damage, and he can poison you and put you to sleep if you don't block. But that's kind of it. Just block. I know I'm making it sound a lot easier than it actually is, but it really isn't super tough. After like a few attempts, this should be pretty easy. Just get rid of the scorpion in the front. I forget what the little guy is called. Just get rid of the enemy spawn in front, and then just do the same thing we've been doing with freezing. I know for a lot of these I use my freezes pretty early, but realistically, you probably should be using them a bit towards the second half of the fight. But either way, these opening bosses aren't too crazily difficult, so you should be fine. So the Watcher, again, it's a pretty easy fight. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's not super difficult. He's gonna try to numb and freeze your party members, and as long as you block, you'll be fine. Uh, you definitely need to super block quite a few times because otherwise you will just do too much damage to you and likely take it down your entire party. But you should be fine in this fight. In this battle, I actually do fail. So I try to frigid coffin him during his second phase where he has haste up, but he I fail both of them. But you can see I still survive with all 3 party members. Chompy makes this it makes this go by way faster. So I definitely recommend trying to get Chompy as early as you can. Um, Other than that, this fight's pretty fine. and we'll move on to Chapter 5 after this. Okay, did I say Chapter 5? I meant Sen and Pishi. Uh, so this fight, what's kind of fun about it is you can approach it in a whole slew of different ways. What I did for fun was I killed them both at the same time, which is probably the hardest way to go about this. But the main thing you want to do here is, if you want to do this optimally, I recommend getting rid of the guy in the back first, Pishi, I think his name is. Uh, get rid of him because his stone throwing is going to suck if he has like +1 attack. Because I think that's what happens whenever the other party member goes down. Um, but yeah, this is a very simple, easy fight. Well, okay, if you do it correctly, it's a simple fight. But yeah, I mean, it's simple. Just freeze, and you should be good. So we go to Kabu and Kali, and this fight is actually a lot easier than Sen and Pishi. So there is no reason to attack Kabu in this fight. There's just no reason. Just attack Kali, because once Kali goes down, the fight's over. So if you want to go for the extra challenge, I think I did it in this fight as well. Uh, you can take down Kabu. I don't recommend it because it just doubles the length of the fight and makes it way more difficult. Plus Kali is constantly buffing Kabu, so it's only going to go longer as the fight progresses. Just focus on Kali, and this is like one of the easiest fights, or one of the easiest optional fights in the game. Okay, so now that I'm actually reviewing the footage here, I actually remember what all this was about. So, I was putting off Zama for quite a while because I just genuinely thought she was going to be impossible. So, I just kind of stalled I stalled doing the extra bosses, and I decided, like, after I got done with Sen and Pishi and Kali and Kabu, like, you know, maybe I'll give it a shot, just maybe. I'm not gonna speed this fight up because I just want you guys to see this and just be in awe. But I genuinely am surprised that I actually managed to get this far. I'm just gonna leave it at that and let you guys watch this. And just like that, Sarmoth is defeated. This definitely took a lot of tries, but whew, I was very relieved when that was finished. That was a very tough and scary fight, and that will not be the scariest fight. Uh, but we will save that for next video, because yes, that's going to be the end of this video. This is going to be part 1 of, I'm going to guess, a 2 or 3 part series going through this game and its bosses. So if you want to see more, like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll see you next time. Bye.